kids from inadvertently, participating in or producing, inappropriate images or videos now that they have such access to cameras and videos themselves, and with the advent of, kids making their own, little movies or TV shows or whatever. It's sometimes a lot of these threats, we think of them as like out there and not in here, or that it could be something that starts out as innocent, but that it's that could organically grow from childhood curiosity and just thrown in with the technology, create not just spiritual, physical, emotional harm, but also legal implications. I know if children texting each other images, videos that they created themselves, of themselves, with their friends, or their family, and then when they discover it, it's like, they don't realize the implications of
the logical conclusion that you're leading to as we go down that rabbit hole is this whole sexting creation, that reality. I don't think that's where you're starting, but I know that was part of John Miner's presentation before the Mean Old Coordinator said, you gotta wrap it up. So he was, but even before we get into that realm, how do we protect, how do we help our kids protect themselves?
I'm going to hand it off in a second, but I think that it starts with where we ended just before, and that is with a positive and affirmative view, age appropriate, of the body and sexuality, and helping your kids to know that they can talk to mom and dad, and that, again, age appropriately speaking, and there's a lot of good guides out there, including some of the resources that were in your packet. Check those out in terms of how to talk to your kids at certain stages of development along the way to develop a healthy, positive understanding of their bodies and sexuality. And if you're developing a good, healthy understanding of what is good, true, and beautiful in a human person, which includes our sexuality, well, then they're also going to be thrown back and they'll be able to recognize what is not good, not true, and distorted and not beautiful about it, and be able to talk with each other. Now, there are some things, and I think John might have a word or two about some things you might do to help your kids have boundaries as well as protection from unwanted assaults on the eyes. Did you have some thoughts to that?
I mean, I talked about the pervasiveness of child porn, but sexting was one of our relatively common cases. We got calls from schools, typically, and there was usually a lot of fretting over what needs to be done here. A couple of legal facts. When I say child, I mean child can run all the way up to age 16, as far as some people consider maybe 18. From a legal standpoint, as an example, if a 15-year-old sends another 15-year-old an explicit video or photo of themselves, they just committed a felony. Now, felonies in New York State can be prosecuted on a 15-year-old. They could be prosecuted. I never saw a DA that was willing to do that, and that's probably a prudent course of action. We also saw people attempting to say, well, we need to change the law, and I always discouraged that. I always said, you need that leverage. You need to be able to tell these kids, you commit a felony, you're going to have a problem. You could go to prison for that. These kids don't know that. Most parents don't know that. A lot of teachers don't know that. And let's be honest, not every so-called sexting photo or video is explicit enough to be really fall into that category. I mean, a quick story of a real case we had. A boy pressured his girlfriend into sending him a photo of herself naked. She didn't want to do it. He pressured, didn't want